So hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to talk on a new direction that we're going to go into the channel. I've seen a lot of interest in my channel regarding cloud gaming, and specifically Stadia, NVIDIA GeForce now, xCloud. So I got this idea and I said, okay, if we have a huge library using Xbox Game Pass on PC, what about performance? Like what's happening with these games that Xbox is offering? Like are they really worth it? Are they really good? Are they really PC optimized? So this idea came after I had some discussion with a friend, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna start testing game by game, doing some reports, specifically very short videos like 5-6 minutes, and using these metrics that I'm going to show you what I'm going to look for in those games. So I hope you really are up for the task. I'm gonna do this. I hope that you like and subscribe to this channel. We're gonna keep growing. I appreciate all the 139 subscribers that we have, and then we're gonna keep growing, and I'm gonna keep investigating and doing some metrics and performance on every of these games that Xbox has. I'm going to start with the most famous ones, such like Halo, Sea of Thieves, and many more, and see how do they perform, how do they stack to each other, okay, in their counterparts, and if they're really a port or a fully fledged PC game. So hey guys, we're going to start with performance, and what are the performance indicators that we're going to be using. In this case, we're going to start with CPU usage. It's a very important metric when we're playing a game because it tells us a lot. Then we're also going to see the GPU usage because it also provides us with a ton of information of what is being used the most, or CPU or GPU, and it can tell us where our bottleneck is. And for feeling of the gamers, especially when you're playing, that frame rate and then frame time, they're very close knit together, and they're always being looked upon PC gamers. So we're going to discuss those two, how they perform in the game and how it affects us specifically in the title that we're testing. So here I'm going to show you real quick what I'm going to talk about, and basically I'm going to do just some run tests here in the training mode, and you can see that the CPU usage is spiking to 99%, 100%. That really means that we're having a CPU bottleneck, and basically even if I have the most powerful GPU in the world, if my CPU is bottlenecked already, the GPU is not going to give me its full performance, never, because the GPU can't handle it anymore at that high frame rate, right? So then we're going to start right now with display settings. So what I mean with display settings, usually games have windowed, full screen, borderless windows, and we want games that give us the option for us to choose. I personally always use full screen gaming, but some people may not. And the idea is that you have the option to choose. So you can see here Apex gives us borderless. In terms of video, you're not going to see the difference, but you can see the difference in your monitor. So then you can go back again and you can see that we have now borderless windows, which is basically a window, but it's simply without borders, just like full screen, but without borders. So the interesting fact is you should have games that allows you to choose these options, to have them. Okay, so that's very, very important, and that's what I want to show you on each and every game. So for the input method, I think it's very, very important to have games that can allow you to play with mouse and keyboard as well as controllers, because we're reaching a point in gaming where there's crossplay. Everybody's playing in consoles, in computers, and really you would want to see and have that feeling that you can actually play in both input methods. So right now I just plug in my controller on Apex Legends, and you can see the cursor now is different, and you can see there's a very tight integration in this game with controllers and mouse and keyboard. This is fairly important, as I mentioned in the beginning. I really just want to show you that how games should be, or how games at least should be the bare minimum that they should have. So the idea is that when you play a game, you play with mouse and keyboard. Ideally, you shouldn't have any super strong advantage against, let's say, other players that are playing with other input methods. So in Apex Legends, it's very well known that in terms of mechanics, if you play on keyboard and mouse, you're going to have a little bit of an edge there in terms of mechanics. But if you play with the controller, you're going to have a little bit more of help with your aim, because you're going to have aim assist. So the idea of this is that you realize and you understand that every input method has its pros and cons, and in the end there has to be a balance. So that's the point that I want to get across. We want games that let you play regardless of the input method, and that you still have a chance to enjoy it. And that is very important. It's going to be one of the main focus on the methodology of each game that we're going to test. So other options that you can see here are the video options, and I mentioned them before, that you should have the option to choose, let's say, VSync, the settings of how the graphics quality, the texture quality, the sun, the shadows, in order for you to optimize for your settings, right? For your GPU specifically. Now we're going to talk about audio settings. In consoles, it's very straightforward. You can see here that I'm saying stereo headphones. It's basically because I plug my stereo headphones because they're easy to record with. But now I'm going to just restart the game, open up my console settings and put Dolby Digital. So you can see Dolby Atmos is going to say surround sound as soon as I open it back and you see it. So the idea is that we have games that show you, at least give you the option to have these traits, right? So you have audio settings, you know at what settings are you playing into, which input settings as input method like control, mouse and keyboard, the maximum resolution. Apex Legends has me capped at my maximum resolution of my monitor. Even though I have a virtual resolution set for my monitor, which is 4K, it doesn't let me choose it because it automatically realizes that it's not my native resolution. In terms of frame rate, Apex is also unlimited. I have it limited at 190 because after 190 frames, Apex starts to have some issues with the engine, some little stutters. And it's basically by recommendation, if I recall correctly from the developers, that 190 should be the standard. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. It's just a quick introduction of what we're going to go in the direction of the channel, and that we're going to test as most games as we can from Xbox Game Pass 4. So I hope you really enjoy it. I hope you really like it. If you have comments, if you have ideas, just let them know. I can do videos. I'm in love with this, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So I hope you really like this, and see you on the next video when we're gonna try out our first game, which is gonna be Halo for PC in Steam, and Halo using Xbox Game Pass for PC. So enjoy, and see you next time.